Hi, I'm Donna Munoz, and I'm here today with cameraman Bob Stevenson. We're going to be taking a tour at the devastation in Pioneertown from the recent Sawtooth Complex fire. As you can see, it's a little windy here today, and I know the firefighters are concerned. We're doing this as volunteers just to show you what happened up here. For those of you who haven't been up to Pioneertown lately, we want to show you what's left and some of the devastation that happened. So come with us as we tour historic Pioneertown. As we head up Pioneertown Road, it looks, as far as we can see, there's just charred desert. But in just a few seconds you'll see that historic Pioneertown was saved. We're coming up on Main Street in Pioneertown proper, and the first thing that we see is Pappy and Harriet's, well known for their food and all of the entertainment that goes on there. And it's totally intact. And as you'll see, all of Main Street looks like nothing happened up here. We're heading up Minnegambo to the home of Joanne and Fred Kretschmer. Minnegambo was an Old West movie actress who used to actually live on this street. Hi, I'm here at the former home of Fred and Joanne Kretschmer. You've probably seen a lot of these people on the news if you've been watching all of the channels that have been covering this story. But we want to do just a little bit more and talk a little bit more about this house, because I was a former neighbor, so I know that this was your love nest. And I know that you're planning on building this again, and I see all the people around, so I know it'll be built again with love. So I just want to ask you some questions. Fred, were you here when the fire broke out?
No, we were, both of us were down at work, down in the low desert, so we hadn't heard until the neighbor across the street called Joanne and told us what was going on. So,
how soon after the fire started did you get here?
Well, let's say they said the fire started back up around noon, and we got up to Pioneertown here about what,
1:30, about 1:30, 2 o'clock.
No, it was a quarter after 2.
Oh.
I remember.
And it was a total loss, am I right?
Yes. Well, no. We still have love. We still have love, faith, family, friends. So it was not a total loss.
But you weren't able to get anything out of the house. You lost your pictures and everything?
Yes, yeah. But I've already heard my family, my friends are getting pictures for us. Everything will be rebuilt. We'll be like reborn.
And I know when I was here the other day and I was talking to you, you said you were going to have a bigger bathroom. So I know you're planning on rebuilding here.
Yes, and I'm going to have a bathroom that I don't have to open the door and then close the door and then sit. I'm just going to be able to walk in and sit.
So, bigger bathroom.
Yes.
And I see there are a lot of people here helping you out today, but you're finding things, and I saw on the news that you found your original wedding ring.
Oh yes, I got my very first wedding ring, and the diamond still shines. So love, the fire cannot take away the love that's here.
So that's one of the stories of survival. And I know you have friends here sifting through the ashes today, and you're finding china and just lots of things that you thought were totally gone.
Yeah, you know, you never know until you can get in there and start looking. You know.
Well, we just want to wish you all the best, and I mean, this community is amazing, and it just shows how people survive after a disaster like this. And you know how I feel about you, and I see you have your biggest helper here, Dylan. Are you helping Grandma and Grandpa, huh? Yes, okay. Well, we just want to thank you guys, and I know you have a lot of work ahead of you, and we'll just be watching the progress. Okay. And I love you.
Pray for us.
You're the kiss.
Oh, the kiss.
Love you.
Love lasts forever.
Okay, I'm standing here at the home of Frank and Shirley Zambrano, the Kretschmer's closest neighbor, really. And as you can see behind me, this house was totally devastated by the fire. Frank, you were in the house when the fire started, am I right?
Well, actually, yes, I was out in my sheds working when that fire started. I was watching it down at the rim, and it was burning way out the last rim over there. And then before I knew it, the fire was already on the mountains here, both sides.
And how were you notified to get out? I mean, did someone actually come to your house, or did you just get out on your own?
I was packing in the back, the wife was packing in the front, in the car, I was doing the truck, and they came up, 2 of them said, get out now, it's moving too fast, and it was right behind us.
Okay, and I understand now, I know you had a lot of animals. I know you had some kittens and things. Did you get all your animals out?
The dog, the cat, and I lost 4 little kitties that I can't find. So, and the chickens, they stayed behind. That was kind of sad.
Yeah, and didn't you have a horse too? And
yeah,
didn't you say
the horse was up there? We loaded 2. One I tried to turn loose, wouldn't go. So one of the neighbors came up, got him. It's at the equestrian center. Got his legs burned, but it'll do fine.
That's good. Well, that's good to hear. And you're staying in a friend's house right now?
Yes, we're at a friend's house.
Okay, and I think, am I right, you plan on rebuilding in Pioneertown?
Oh yes, definitely.
I know you love this area. I know we all love this area, and I know the Kretschmers down the street, they're planning on rebuilding. And so, do you want to tell us a little bit about the house, or?
Well, we lost it all. Everything's gone. My work sheds, the barn up above, all that is gone, and everything in it. There's a lot of things that it's a shame I won't be able to replace. Anyway, that's gone, and I look forward to building again. And I'm making arrangements right now to see how we get started somewhere.
Well, we wish you luck, and you have a big job ahead of you, but I know everyone we've talked to has the surviving spirit of Pioneertown, so I know it'll be, again, a wonderful place.
Like I told Shirley, I says, look at the bright side. It gives us an opportunity to start all over again. Well, just you and I.
We wish you luck, and we just thank you for spending your time with us today. And we know this is a hard time for everybody, so thank you very much. Standing here at the what used to be the home of Lana Wilson, and here in Pioneertown. And Lana, were you here when the fire first broke out?
No, my husband and I were both at work.
You were. How were you notified that there was a fire here?
We just saw the smoke when it started, and then it got huge, and my husband tried coming up, and they turned us away. We tried to get our animals, and we lost them.
Oh, I'm so sorry. And as I can see by looking here, your home was a total loss. Yes. And I see you have an insurance adjuster here today. And are you planning on rebuilding? Have you given that some thought, or?
We don't know. Possibly. We just don't know.
How long have you lived in Pioneertown?
Since 1988.
Since 1988.
Yeah.
I know I used to be your neighbor. I was right down the hill here, and we'll pan across the valley, and you can see it was real hit and miss on which houses stayed and which were burned. It's just amazing to me.
It is. It's amazing to me too. It's just, you don't understand why one made it and one didn't.
Well, I'm certainly sorry for your loss, and as I can tell here, you were saying you had 17-foot high ceilings, so I'm sure this was just an amazing house. And tell me a little bit about your life here in Pioneertown.
It's a nice community, everybody's friendly, and it's just a really nice place to live,
I know, they say, this is 10 minutes away, but a world away. That's what we always say.
So. It was always nice coming here. We didn't have to deal with downtown, the hustle and bustle of stuff. It was just quiet and nice, comfortable.
Well, we just want to wish you luck, and whatever you decide to do, I hope you stay. This is an amazing area, and being up high like this, you just had an incredible view.
Beautiful view. Yeah, beautiful view.
So, and I just want to wish you well, and I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm standing at the house right across the road from Lana Wilson's house, and as you can see, this house didn't suffer any damage. There's burn all the way around, but this wooden house is still standing. It's just amazing to us looking at the hillside and looking in front of the house and down below it, and seeing what happened next door, that this house is still standing. And that's what happened with this fire. There's just no reason to it. One house will be standing and the house right next door is totally gone. I'm standing here with Jenny Duval, and you had some interesting stories about this house, and it's just amazing to me if you would tell us a few of the things you told me.
Well, actually, my father-in-law from the Key Ranch, Johnny Key, in about 46 he built the fireplace, and he had copper across the front of it, and there was brands of all the local and different ranches, and it was really beautiful to look at, and it did burn pretty well. And then my brother got it later on, I don't know what year. Johnny and all his kids and all of his dogs and his wife, they've lived here all this time. He's from Long Beach, just like I am. I got here in 1960 when I was 19. And
that's amazing. Did you say you live here in Pioneertown?
Not now, I have. I used to live on the Key Ranch, just right over there, for quite a few years, and I raised my kids here in Pioneertown, and it was different then. It wasn't so crowded. We could ride horses just about anywhere, and not so many people.
I'm sure this must be very hard for you today to see this devastation.
No, it was very hard 3 days ago when the dogs were dead in their pens, and we came up, and we were like in shock and awe. We were so sad. But at least Johnny's got good insurance, and he'll be able to do something.
Well,
my brother-in-law's burned to the ground. His pigs died. Everything died. Dogs. No insurance. Now Johnny Key's, he's an old pioneer settler. He got up here in about 26. The only thing left over there is Peggy Key's or Peggy Schroeder's house, and it is saved, but everything's gone on the Key Ranch. There was 160 acres that was homesteaded by Johnny Key, and it's definitely gone.
I've been there before, so I know that's a huge loss. So thank you for sharing that with us. I'm here with Joe Matus, and Joe, you're from the Salvation Army?
Yes, I am.
And what are you doing up here today?
Well, we're bringing up refreshments and snacks for people and also assessing any needs that they might have. We brought up several porta potties for people that were burned out and have no water. And we're assessing other needs, and we'll probably bring some up to the post office area up here later today.
Oh, that's great. So where's your actual base camp then?
The field office is in Yucca Valley in the Ideal Mall. And I don't have the phone number here, but it's in the book.
Okay,
and,
so
there are people staffing it right now.
So what you have with you today is cold drinks, porta potties, things that the people might need who want to stay here with their houses?
Right, correct.
Okay. And have you found a lot of need up here?
Yeah, we have. We were up here yesterday, and met a lot of people with sad stories.
I know, it's very sad. I'm looking out at this now, especially from as high up as we are, to see all the devastation's incredible. Thank you for talking with us.
Welcome.
And thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. You're welcome.
We're heading back down to Main Street, and you'll see the big difference between this charred area and then an area where there was no damage. Here's the historic Pioneertown Post Office, which is still an operating post office and the hub of the community. We're here at the Pioneertown Post Office. This is really the hub of the little community on Main Street. This is at one end of the Main Street. The other end, Pappy and Harriet's, is the other hub of the community. And we're talking today with Mary, one of our postmistresses. Mary, can you tell us a little bit about how the fire has affected the post office?
Well, now today, only being Saturday, we've already caught up on all the back mail since Tuesday. Thanks to Kathy, she told them to bring it on up here, and we've been working on it. And all I know for sure is we closed here about 1 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon and weren't allowed to come back until Thursday at 12:30 to such devastation. Thank God the post office and the rest of Main Street was saved, I guess by the good work of the fire department. It's hard to say why some burned to the ground and others are standing, but when it was happening, the smoke, it was like someone was walking pouring gasoline on the brush. That's how intense the flames got.
Well, we found that amazing, and what you said about how one house burned and one house didn't.
Did not.
And you were saying when I was talking to you earlier that your house was saved, but when you left, your patio furniture?
The patio furniture, the cushions on the chair were smoldering, were on fire. My husband went back once he got me and our dogs down here by the post office in the motorhome. He actually went back there and fought it with the garden hose until the fire department turned up maybe 15-20 minutes later. They did not expect this fire to come from the front off of Pioneertown Road. It was burning down in Pipes Canyon area, and everyone was watching down there. And the next thing you know, we look up and our yard is ablaze. We did not think we'd have a home to come home to.
That's amazing.
there.
And you said if we go over there, all the brush, everything is totally
Go have a
gone.
look. You will not recognize it as Pioneertown. The beautiful desert is ash.
That's so sad. But you said that the life that we all enjoy, the quail and things, are beginning to come back.
Birds are coming back. We've been putting seed out since Thursday, and even some of the babies are there.
That's amazing.
So yes,
That's
we're
amazing.
very, very thankful to the Lord for that.
Well, thank you for letting us interrupt your work. I know you have a lot to do. I noticed, too, you're giving out water and hand sanitizer.
There's a water truck from the city of Yucca Valley parked just right over there a few feet that residents here can come and pick up a bag that holds 5 gallons of water and fill it from that truck.
That's wonderful. I mean, people come together, and we just appreciate your time. Thank
This
you.
water and hand sanitizer is from Kathy's son at Echo Lab. They brought this morning, and he's going to bring more on Monday, they said.
And Kathy is the other postmistress.
The postmaster, I'm her assistant.
Okay.
Part-time person.
Thank you, Mary. We appreciate your time today.
You're welcome. Go take a
This is what Pioneertown is all about. I'm standing here in the middle of Main Street, And on one side is the bowling alley, and on the other side are the sets, the backdrop to the gunfighters. Normally, if this was a Saturday afternoon, there'd be horses and gunfighters and shots ringing out, and tourists who'd come up to Pioneertown to reenact, see the Old West reenacted. But today, it's totally quiet. There's not a soul here. I'm told that, as a matter of fact, there's a picture inside the bowling alley of Roy Rogers bowling, and this is where the original movies were made. A lot of the old Cisco Kid movies and a lot of the old westerns were made right here on Main Street, and that's what makes Pioneertown so special. And we're so happy that they were able to save this street, and that's what the residents are saying to me today, that Pioneertown wouldn't be Pioneertown without this wonderful little street here. Leaving Main Street, we're going to go up Curtis Road and talk with a homeowner whose home wasn't burned. Okay, I'm here now with Chris Sorensen, and I'm looking around, and this is your home, and it looks like it's still standing. I see some charring on the trees and around here, and I see your neighbor's house is totally gone, but you were really lucky. What happened?
Well, we cleared the brush off a long time ago. That helped with the tractor, kept it brushed back. But I really think that about 2 or 3 weeks ago we went down and bought an extra large Doughboy pool down at Walmart and filled it up and had it right back here in the backyard. And when the fire got close enough, it burst and the water flowed around both sides of the house. And you can see right where the water flowed that the grass didn't burn or anything there, and I think it absorbed enough heat maybe to keep the house from catching on fire.
That's an amazing story, but I see your truck here didn't fare so well, so it wasn't obviously in the line of the Doughboy pool water. But it's amazing. I mean, your home is intact, and I understand you found your cat, so...
We found our cat and our 2 dogs. They came back. They were missing, but they came back and they were on the porch like nothing ever happened.
Well, and going around town, we see, one house that's totally gone and then another one that's standing, and it's amazing to us to see, what went on. Were you here when the fire broke out?
No, we weren't. We were at the Kern River.
Oh, so someone had to call you and tell you what was going on?
We heard on the radio that the fire in Yucca Valley and Pioneertown, and then my wife's sister called and said that there was a fire in Pioneertown, and we left like within 15 minutes of hearing that and headed back down, and we got here at about 9:30, 10 o'clock maybe. And of course they wouldn't let us up, so we spent all night not knowing if our house was here or not.
Well, I know you feel very blessed that you do have a home, and I want to thank you for talking with us today. Thank you very much. I'm standing here on the old Hayden Ranch site. This is just so sad to look at because I've been to so many wonderful fundraisers and things here. This site was the site of the old Judge Roy Bean series. Russ Hayden had really turned this into just a little old miniature western town. And over here, I'm looking at what used to be an open-air saloon, and they had a blacksmith shop and this wonderful old cable car. It was dining car. It was just beautiful on the inside. It was where the elegant and rich used to go and dine, and this car was so amazing on the inside. They had completely restored it, and now, of course, it's just totally burned. This is really, really sad to see because this is such an important part of Pioneertown and its history. Well, I'm here with Captain John Ristaino, who was a former Flying Tiger and now current owner of Hayden Ranch, and we've been looking at the devastation, and it's just, we just can't believe it. John, can you tell us a little bit about the ranch?
Right, this here was the schoolhouse. And it also had the school quarters were located in the front, then the schoolhouse, and from my understanding, this was Pioneertown's first school. And then in the schoolhouse, after it was taken from the corner of Pioneertown Road and repositioned here, they used it for movie artifacts. And they did use it in several of their movies, which I'm not familiar with. But then when I purchased it, I was storing all choice lumber in it because our intention was to completely overdo every building like we did the schoolhouse and have it in the same appearance but structurally sound.
Well, I know, last time I was here with you, we were going through the beautiful train car over here, and you were showing me how you had the electricity working, and it was so lovely inside. And so when I first drove up and saw what remains, it was so sad. And I know you put a lot of time into that.
Right, and the train was engineered well when they refurbished it. In other words, if you lost power, the exit lights, would come on, just like in an aircraft on that. And then there were rheostats in there that you could change the intensity of the light, and all the lights were in if you remember, red.
It was lovely. I remember how beautiful it was. I mean, I said, the rich and famous. It was a dining car that was designed for the rich and famous.
And it had 24 back to back, in other words, almost like Pullman. Dining areas. Then it had an open recreation, whatever it was, in the middle, and then the full-time bar on it.
Well, and we have some footage of the Hayden Ranch at one of the last fundraisers that was here, and we want to show that to compare, then and now. Hayden Ranch was built by Russell Hayden, a Western movie actor. He's shown here with Hopalong Cassidy and Gabby Hayes. Hayden played Lucky on the Hopalong Cassidy series. We're showing some footage from one of the Sandra Hayden memorial barbecues held in memory of Hayden's daughter, who was killed in a tragic auto accident. One of the highlights of the barbecue was a tour of the Scarlet Lady, the elegant dining coach that sat on the Hayden Ranch property. This 1800s private railcar was brought to the ranch by Alan Ward, an LA businessman. Ward referred to it as an 85-foot antique. It featured velvet seats, an all-wood bar, wood carved ceiling, and an original cash register. Unfortunately, this part of the Pioneertown history is gone forever. Well, I hope you're able to at least rebuild some of it. It was a lovely place to come, and I know you love it up here in Pioneertown. So thank you for being here today and talking with us. And this has just been quite a shock to see all of the devastation, but there have been a lot of good stories too. So,
right, Mrs. Munoz, we're going to survive.
I know you will. I know
and
you will.
And we thank you and the gentleman.
Hi, we're here at Yucca Valley High School, where our local American Red Cross has set up a disaster shelter for the people who've had to be evacuated. And I'm speaking with Candace, Fritz. And Candace, can you just tell me a little bit about when you opened up and what kind of services you're providing?
Okay, we opened up the shelter on Tuesday evening to help with the mandatory evacuations and the temporary evacuations up in, the Yucca Valley area, the Morongo area. The services that we're providing is a place to stay, out of the smoke. Anybody that's having problems with breathing or something, we have separate rooms set up for them at that time. For that time, we're providing meals, so we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner for those evacuees that are set up. Mental health is here to help with that. We have a nurses station to provide that kind of assistance and facility.
Oh, I see lots of people are going in and out still. Do you know about how many people you have been able to serve since this began? Or
this evening or last night, had 14 people that were staying that haven't been able to find other resources or other things in the area. We've serviced probably about 100 and some families or individuals since it started. So individuals are coming and going, depending on what the resources are, and the community helping out them.
Well, we really appreciate it. And I know you're a volunteer, so we want to thank you very much. And it looks like you're starting to wind down a little. Would you have any idea when you might be closing?
I don't know, because that all varies on depending on what happens with the evacuees and the mandatory evacuees. Once they start to lift them, we would be opening up, changing our shelter to like family resources and family services, and working with the other agencies to find out those individuals that have certain emergency needs and helping them out at that time.
Thank you. We appreciate this. We appreciate everything you do in the community and what you've done, especially now with the people who did need to be here. So thank you, Candace.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks.
All right.
As we leave historic Pioneertown, I hope you found this video informative. We want to thank everyone who took the time to stop and talk to us. We know a lot of them were going through crises. We want to thank everyone who came forward to help us. The firefighters, animal control, the Salvation Army, the Red Cross, all of the people who opened their homes to disaster victims. There was just a lot of helping out in the Morongo Basin, and we just say thank you and goodbye.